and welcome to Bub's World, your home for comics, vinyl records, pop figures, statues, all manner of collectibles, Blu-rays, all this kind of good stuff. Today we're going to be doing a comic haul from MyComicShop.com. Link below. Today's going to be an all Marvel haul for y'all. And let's get right into it. So let's make me small and get to the haul. All right, we're rocking a little Ghost Rider, some Kid Colt, Atlas, formerly Marvel's former incarnation. So, okay, so let's get right into it. If we're talking Marvel, we're talking X-Men, and our first book up is X-Men 74. So you guys know I'm trying to complete this reprint run, and I'm trying to pick them up pretty much any title in this run for under $20, man. I snag it, and I feel like they're kind of long-term investments. I think that over time, the idea that these books are even reprints will fade, especially in this kind of cover culture that we have right now in comics. And a lot of these have unique covers or variations on the original story covers, which have different colorations, and some people might call those variants. So as time goes on, I think that we will see higher value placed in these books. So this is a long-term spec for me. So X-Men 74. There's a lot of people that don't even know these are reprints inside. We have, and that's just, pretty cool. Look at that old Iceman. Man, he looks rough. Golly, that looks terrible. Here's some X-Men number 80. It's a nice Juggernaut butt. Beware the Juggernaut butt. Look at that. That's nice. That's a fun team. The strongest teen team of them all. Of them all. All right, next we got X-Men number 90. Now, I haven't been on Comigories, and it feels like a couple of years, but they have a floating heads cover category, and I've never had a good floating. I've had a few that had like some bordering heads, but this truly is a floating heads cover. Those heads are floating. So there you go, X-Men number 90. So very cool. That must be Professor X falling out. Professor X is dead. Foreshadowing. Yeah, he dies a bunch in the comics, so let's not worry about that. Here's X-Men number 91 versus X-Men versus the power of Magneto. And I think it's interesting because they're all kind of, no one's really using their powers here. Except Cyclops, but he's swinging on a rope. I mean, how often does that truly happen? The Cyclops isn't known for his gymnastic prowess. So, there you go. Pretty cool, though. And this one has like a bunch of like overspray or whatever. It's like manufacturer's ink all over it. It's the same blue from here, but it's all over the bottom and everything. So, very blue copy of X-Men 91. Now, this next one was a big deal for me. I didn't really know why. I guess it's like a first appearance or first cameo appearance, even though I don't really subscribe to those. And I didn't know why, but I just love the cover. It's an homage of X-Men 1, and that's X-Men 104. And honestly, I know that I'm supposed to really want X-Men 1 and the very earliest X-Men issues. And of course, if I saw one for a fair price, I would buy it. There's no doubt. But I don't see them for fair prices right now. And to me, the new team is my team. This is the team I grew up with and the team I prefer. So to get this Cockrum cover swipe of X-Men 1 is pretty cool. And it's got X-Men 104. And I think it's the first appearance of the Starjammers, or first appearance in Cameo, or whatever they call it. So this book ends up getting pretty high. I don't really know. I mean, it's an awesome cover, and that's why I wanted it, was for the cover. I just think that's great. I love that. And I love the old Wolverine look. More blocky head and short. I just think it's great. This is my favorite team. So cool. Great cover. Absolutely love it. Switching gears off X-Men, we're going to get into some Thor. with some Jane Foster doing her best work in comics. So there's Jane Foster in a little bit of bondage. She's being strung up in chains. This will definitely feature in our next bondage showcase this year. Hammer in Hades, it says. That is really cool with Ulik. That's so cool. I love that. That is really good. Check out those little shoes matching the pants. They've got it around her like she's been shaking, you know. I'm digging that. That's fantastic. That's too cool. Love it. And switching gears again, here's a more modern variant. We have Wolverine number 4. And this is the Tron variant. Now, that brings my total of Tron variants to 2. So I've got the SpiderWoman one and now the Wolverine one. I'm still after the Moon Knight one and the Captain America one. Those, I feel like if I could get those 4, I'd probably be most happy. There's a Spider-Man one that goes for a lot of money. It's nice and I'm after it, but if I don't get it, I'm not going to be crying about it. But I really want the Captain America and the Moon Knight one in the collection. So here's Wolverine number 4, the Tron variant. Big Tron fan. And I like the new Tron just as well as the old Tron, if not better. So can't wait for them to do something new with that property. All right. Next up, this is just a pure cover buy. In fact, I flipped through the interior last night and it looked terrible. But here is Thunderbolts number 80. Look at that. It kind of is a spoof on a, I would call it Maxim magazine cover. But here's Thunderbolts number 80. And this thing, you got to see all this. So, who is the greatest? How the champ stacks up against the new blood. Look at that. Definitely got bondage going on. You're like, what is she wrapped up in? Almost looks like barbed wire. I love this. It says for real men. They would not make this cover today. If they did, it would be, oh my gosh. Like there'd be outcry and outrage, right? If they tried to make this cover today. There's no way. There's no way they would even, obviously it's a spoof and it's a joke. But, you know, somewhere along the line, a great majority of our populace lost their sense of humor. So, here it is. For real men, it says, I would never put that on a comic cover. Women in prison, a captive audience? Holy crap. I can't believe they put that on there. Spider-Man hero, homewrecker, an expose, T-Bolt style Thunderbolts feature story. And that's what she's wrapped up in, is Spider-Man's webbing. So isn't that cool? He's like pulling down her bottom there. Little cheek action. Look at that. I mean, that's just fantastic. Tale of Man Killer. Property damage. Emotional scars. Now that they would put on a cover today. About the emotional damage people have by looking at a piece of paper. Look at that. Bling bling. Booty, boxing, and bars. I mean, they would never... Oh my gosh, this is an encapsulation in time. There's no doubt about it. Very cool. Love this book. I saw someone was offering this book up for sale somewhere on Instagram, I think. And I saw it. I was like, I've never seen that book before. And they wanted like, I don't know, $20 or something for it. And I almost pulled the trigger. But as usual, before I did, I went to MyComicShop.com, looked it up real quick, and found the only copy they had for like $250 or something like that. So snagged it, and I haven't seen another copy for sale on there either, but there could be. So take a look, see what you can find. Very, very cool book. That's going to be the highlight of my, well, I don't know, I've got a couple new bondage books to show off in the showcase, but this will be up there, and that's one of my top bondage books at this point, I think, because it's just so unique. All right, we got SpiderGwen, Gwenniverse? I don't know. It's her headband's covering it. Greg Land. I thought that I had not bought this issue. And the wife and I were in a comic shop and she was like, you have that, don't you? And I was like, I don't think I bought it. She was like, surely you picked that up. I was like, I don't know. But then, sure enough, it showed up in my pre-order. So here it is. SpiderGwen Gwenverse issue 1, Greg Land variant. There were a couple of variants in this that didn't look too bad, but Greg Land's one of my favorite artists, so definitely was going to pick that up. And then keeping the Greg Land train rolling, we got SpiderWoman, Spider-Verse. A lot of verses going on here. Spider-Verse number 4. So SpiderWoman number 4. Greg Land variant, and she looks like she's about ready to whoop some hiney. That's good stuff. Thank you, Greg Land, for all you do. I think you're a master of your craft, sir. Definitely on my Mount Rushmore of good girl artists. And Captain Carter showed up. I didn't know if I had 1 copy of this or 2, or if I picked up the variants. I didn't remember. But I guess I pre-ordered it, and I did have 1 copy of it. So, you know, prices go up, prices go down. I never expected this to be a real spec book. I like Haley Atwell, and she is probably the reason that I like the Captain America. I think that Captain America 1, the first Avenger, right, is the movie, is my favorite MCU movie. It's the one that I can watch over and over and over again and still enjoy it every time. And I like Iron Man 1 too, but I think I like Captain America 1 the best. And I think one of the reasons is because of all the other movies that have come out, like the female lead that they attached to the you know, to the hero or whatever, I didn't really care for them too much. So, you know, Pepper Potts, she looks good sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, she's obnoxious. You know, I don't count Black Widow because she's the lead in her movies most of the time. But I think that, and definitely Rachel McAdams playing whatever, I don't even know her name, in Doctor Strange, that's not a win for me. So most of the time I find the girlfriends of the heroes to be quite annoying. But in this case, Haley Atwell playing Peggy Carter, that was a huge win. And I wish I liked the show too. I wish it had continued. But, you know, it is what it is. So here you go. Captain Carter. I like that they made her an official hero. So everything about this is good for me. So I had to pick one up. So that's why I picked it up. And that's why it'll stay in the collection too. Now, I was hoping I'd picked up 2 or 3 or a couple of variants and I would have sold those, but I didn't. So it's all good. All right. So that's my haul. Quick rundown. We'll go in reverse order. Captain Carter, Spider-Woman, SpiderGwen or whatever, Gwenverse, Thunderbolts. We'll just stop right there. That's fantastic. Oh, man. All right, everybody. We'll catch you next time in Bub's World. Remember to read a comic and don't apologize for the glare. Bye-bye.